Okay, hey, this is Spuddy with Cajun, with the Cajun Cooking Experience over here at Spuddy's Cajun Foods in Vacherie, Louisiana. And today, we're gonna cook us a little crawfish étouffée. Okay, we're just melting the butter. We're gonna cook a crawfish étouffée. Louisiana, grown, raised, caught crawfish. No, nothing foreign. Remember, farm to table, local as possible. Our ancestors couldn't go out the country and get something. So the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and put our onions into the oil. And what I have here is I have a mixture of butter and lard in here. I'm gonna bring those onions in. Because everything starts with those onions. And we're gonna sweat them a little bit, and then we're gonna build us a roux. We wanna make a roux. When étouffée means smother. So there's different ways to make étouffée. If you come into Cajun world, you're gonna have a roux in your étouffée, but you don't necessarily have to. You can actually make an étouffée where you just smother the crawfish. But we're gonna do it a little different. We're gonna do it the Cajun way, and we're gonna make a roux. Flour. Okay, so we're gonna take some of this brown flour, the flour that we actually browned in the oven, and we're gonna start bringing it into our onions that are cooking. We sweated these onions enough, and we're gonna start building our roux. Now this is just one way to build a roux. This is what I call my dry roux. I'm actually building it from a dry flour, sweating my onions, and we're gonna have this little roux. And it's supposedly called a little healthier roux too. And the oil we're using in here, I have a mixture of lard and butter, all natural. I didn't bring any processed oils in. Processed oils don't do a really good job when you're making a roux. So now that I've got this color, you see the color? I'm looking for this brown color. Brown is important out here in Cajun country. We don't like white gravies. Not that they're not good, it's the color. People eat by sight, and we have to have color in our food. Why? In the old days, you go back to our ancestors in the Cajun world, you came out to the country, we cooked with lard and flour. If you go to the city, they had butter, flour, tomatoes, all the vegetables because of the French market. So they would cook with the lighter roux and the redder gravies. But when you come out here, we had lard and flour and dark roux. Still to today, we're cooking with those dark roux. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'll let the onions cook a little bit, let them sweat a little bit. I'm gonna bring our celery in, and I'm gonna bring our bell pepper. I have 3 different color bell peppers here. Green being the strongest, and as you get darker, it gets a sweeter flavor. So I like to mix them. If you don't have all 3 colors, use the one that you have available. It's not a big deal. But I like it because it does give you a better flavor when you mix it. Something else I'm gonna bring in, I'm gonna bring a little andouille in. A lot of people say, wow, why do you put andouille into étouffée? I want that little smoke flavor. And I'm gonna give it a little bit sausage, a little small can of sausage. I want that little smoke flavor in my étouffée. Why? Because that's us Cajuns love smoke. It's the way we like our food. Because we were raised on smoked food because that's how our ancestors preserved their meats in the wintertime. They smoked it. Now, bring a little bit of our stock in. And you can see we're gonna start building our gravy now. Building our brown gravy. Look at the color. This is the color we want. Remember, this is just one way to make a roux. Pretty easy way to make a roux. I could have just started with oil and added flour and kept stirring it. But since I browned my flour in my oven, I'm just cutting a little time off my process. Now I'm just gonna let this cook a little bit before we actually bring in our crawfish. Okay, so we just wanna let this cook down a little bit. Let it give it about 10 minutes to let everything marry together. You want all these flavors to come out. You want the flavors to come out the smoked meat. You want the flavors to come out your vegetables. And just come together before you bring your crawfish in. So we're gonna give this a little time to cook and all come together for our great Cajun flavor. Okay. Now we're gonna let this simmer for about 10 minutes. Every now and then, just come here and stir and kind of give it a little, make sure it's not sticking to the bottom of the pot. One of the things, we have a little extra liquid in here. The cooking time is gonna reduce it. It's gonna thicken it. And this is what you want. You wanna go ahead and reduce it. That's stewing. Stewing is just cooking and reducing that liquid to give you that thick flavor, that thick gravy that we're gonna have for our etouffee. I'm gonna add me some garlic, some fresh garlic. It's a whole clove of garlic that I chopped. So I'm gonna add this garlic in. This is optional. Remember, when you're cooking Cajun, everything's optional. It's your way. Okay, so we're letting this slow cook. See, we have a little simmer going. Let this slow cook. Our gravy's getting a little thick, so I'm gonna bring a little bit more chicken stock in, not much. One thing about stewing and étouffée, remember étouffée and smothering, you wanna just do a little bit at a time. When I added that water, I was giving it a little bit loving. Little loving at a time. Take it easy, take it slow. It's gonna be better. It's gonna love you back if you take your time. So now what I'm gonna do in the étouffée, I wanna bring a little hint of red in. I wanna bring a little bit of tomatoes. I can use a little tomato sauce, I can use a little tomato paste, but I have some chopped tomatoes here. That's what I prefer. And it's just a hint of red. I don't wanna overpower with red, because we want the taste of the crawfish to come out, not the red, not the tomatoes. So it's just a little hint that goes really, really well with this roux. So we're gonna bring this in, juice and all, of these chopped tomatoes, okay? And in case you wanna know, this is like a 12-ounce can of chopped tomatoes. If you were doing your own tomatoes out your garden, good fresh tomato season, put a couple tomatoes in. And we just wanna let this cook a little bit. Now we're gonna let this cook some more, about another 5-10 minutes. So now here's our étouffée. I wanna add a little more stock in, give it a little loving, just so it doesn't get too thick, and let it keep cooking. You want your vegetables tender. You want everything to just to start, you want those flavors out your vegetables and out your sausage and out your andouille. Let it cook a little longer. Then we're gonna put our crawfish in. Then we'll start seasoning this. Okay. Now, it's time to add our Louisiana crawfish tails. These crawfish tails, before they package them, they scar them. They let it come to, basically let the water come to a ball, cut it off, they peel. There's fat. When you buy a pack of Louisiana crawfish tails, do not rinse them. You want that natural fat of the crawfish tails. And that juice down here, that is the fat. That is the fat in the water. And of course the crawfish release a little water. All that's gonna go. There's our little fat juice, and there's our crawfish tails. Okay, now Louisiana crawfish tails are gonna cook quicker than if you had import crawfish tails. So we wanna keep in mind that within 10 minutes, this is gonna be done. Now we're gonna come and just finish cooking these crawfish tails into our gravy. So tradition is, out here in Cajun country, a lot of the men do the cooking, especially the wild game cooking, the crawfish cooking, because a lot of them belong to hunting camps, fishing camps. So one of the things that always went with their cooking is a good cold beer. So we're sitting over here, and when I cook, I like to drink me a cold beer. It relaxes me. It's part of, I have beer and I have music. It's part of my therapy. It's really therapeutic. I don't need a psychiatrist. I just need some pots and a cold beer, and I am happy. So why drink the beer? Because this is what we like to do. We're all brought up drinking a good cold beer. Now I'll tell you something. Be careful. If you're the cook, don't overdo this. The alcohol, the beer, is numbing your taste buds. I'm gonna drink one beer while I'm cooking, and I'll probably drink plenty after. But the numbing of the taste buds, you're gonna over-season your food and you're gonna light them up. And you don't wanna do that. So now it's time to season our étouffée. So what we wanna do, first thing I like to do, again, give our sugarcane farmers a little love. Believe me, this is optional, but I'm in sugarcane country. This whole business is surrounded by sugarcane. I've got friends on my west side, friends on the east side that actually grow sugarcane. They're sugarcane farmers. I know all the families. I know all their wives, kids, cousins, whatever. So we want to show them a little love. It's only right. This is what our parish is all about. So I'm going to give this 2 teaspoons or two teaspoons of sugar. Does it do anything? It gives it a little sweet taste. It actually does add some really great flavor, but you're not overloading it. It's just to give a little love. So, another thing we're gonna add to it, our crystal hot sauce, our Louisiana hot sauce, homemade in Louisiana. It's just my favorite, it's my personal favorite. Use yours, use whatever you like. One thing Cajun cooking's about, it's your personal way of doing things. So, we're gonna put a little hot sauce into our étouffée. not a lot. And that's just gonna add a little bit flavor in it. Okay, then stir it in, maybe a little bit more. What the hell? All right. Okay, now we're just gonna season. We're gonna season with some salt. Look, there's a lot of seasonings on the market. I just use salt. That's what our ancestors used. We keep it simple. Use the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. Then we put a little bit black pepper. If you can't handle the black pepper, leave it out. And we put a little touch of red pepper. Again, when you start adding the seasoning, this is going to be to your taste. Don't follow a recipe. Use the recipe as an outline, but get it to your tasting. Okay, so we want to give these seasonings about 5 minutes to cook in. We want to just get into this gravy, and then we're going to taste and see if we have enough seasoning. See where we stand on it. Okay, now it's time to take a little taste. We want to go ahead and see how our flavors come along. We want to taste the tenderness of the crawfish. You want to make sure your crawfish are tender, and we want to make sure our gravy is seasoned. Remember, you're going to be putting this gravy over rice, so you want it a little bit. You want to have a little bit extra seasoning in it. Oh, we almost have. Oh, these flavors are all coming together. This dish is just gonna knock your socks out. You gotta try this and let me know how it comes out. Okay, one of the things we're gonna add, this is a Cajun tradition. This is a River Parishes tradition. St. Charles, St. John, and St. James. This is what we do. We're gonna add some boiled eggs, and some people even add the raw eggs in and have it poached into the food. Both of them are very good. Some people add both. Why the eggs? This is just a spuddy belief. I really believe that our ancestors, we had eggs. We all had chickens. So you know what happens? You had a lot of chicken eggs. This is protein. This right here, if you have an egg for every one of those little crumb snatchers that you're raising, they're getting some protein. They're filling up on that dish. So, and these eggs are just flavor. So we're gonna add these eggs into our étouffée, and they're already boiled. So it's just a matter of letting the eggs cook for about 5 minutes, and then you're done. You're finished. And that's it. And it gives everybody a boiled egg when they're eating. It's like a special treat. It's like getting your Easter basket on Easter. It's a surprise. So we're gonna let this cook a little bit more, and our étouffée is actually becoming real. 5 minutes, we're done. Beautiful. So part of our German heritage, French bread, the po' boy bread. Everybody knows New Orleans, Louisiana, we're famous for po' boys. So I like to take our French bread, and French bread is, our bread makers were definitely German. Leinhammer, Rising, we had some emails out in St. James Parish that own bread companies. And I love to take this French bread and dip it into this gravy. And man, if you want a treat, get you some good po' boy bread and ooh. This is what we call mopping up your dish. You're gonna take this French bread and you're gonna mop up all that gravy just to bring it home. This is how you finish your dish. Because when we finish our plate, it's clean. You don't have to wash it. I just put it on the side and use it next time. No, actually wash it. But we clean it up with some good French bread. This is our tradition. Oh. You have to try this. Get your good French bread, mop up your gravy. It'll be the best part of your dish. It's like hitting a home run at the end in the ninth inning. It's time to eat. So what we've done, étouffée is served over rice. Remember, étouffée is smothered. So we basically smothered this crawfish in a little gravy. We have our boiled egg, and we have our petit pois with the roux peas. You can eat these separate. The way I like to do it, you take this whole plate and mix it together. Bring all these flavors together. So give this a shot. Easy dish to cook. Remember, use your local products. Farm the table. Keep it simple, and you'll never regret it.